We just got some crazy news from Andy Reid. Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee at practice today, and his status for Thursday night's opener versus the Lions is currently uncertain. So, Fabian, before we get started here, what do you make of this news off the bat?
It's bad. So the first news was Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, and he would be uncertain for Thursday. When you hear the word uncertain, that's not good at all. And then you were able to read some medical opinions, and with the hyperextension, we saw it with George Kittle recently. We saw it with Zeke Elliott last year, I guess. So hyperextension is usually attached with a bone bruise, and a bone bruise can lead to guys going to IR, like missing 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And that's bad news. So right now, I think this is probably the most likely outcome, that he's going to deal with a bone bruise and might sit like 2 or 3 weeks. And the absolute worst case, that's like a non-zero chance, would be an ACL tear. But let's just pray that this is not going to be the case. Right now, I think the most likely outcome is hyperextension, bone bruise, likely going to sit like until week 3 or 4.
Wow, that is terrible to hear. You never want to hear that for a player. But my first thought is always, whenever I hear injury news like this, I'm a bettor, so I always run and look at the screen, look at the lines, and I try and see where the market's going here. And I mean, Casey this week, look ahead lines opened up at the -7. This week it's trickled down 6.5. When this news came out, it flashed right to 6, and then right through 6 to 5.5 at most sportsbook. Right now at Pinnacle, you can grab it. The 5.5 at -110. The plus 5.5 -110, the -5.5 at -102. And take a look over the total. It creeped up to 55 this week and then shot right back down after this news to around 52.5. So, I mean, obviously the market respects Kelce a lot. You rarely see moves like this for skill position players. Usually we see moves for quarterbacks. But I mean, what are your thoughts on how the market is reacting to Travis Kelce right now? You think how many points do you think he's worth against the spread? And is the market overreacting, underreacting? What are your general thoughts here on what the market is telling us?
I think generally speaking, it was probably be the correct move, like crashing the total down towards the midpoint of between 51 and 54. And the spread went down from 6.5 to 5 or 5.5. When you click on the drop down menu on Pinnacle, you will get solid prices in the minus 100 to minus 110 range for 5 and 5.5. Other books in the market are also sneaking around the same number, and it's very important to understand that yes, we are looking at a line move, like from 6.5 to 5.5 or 5, but we should think more in terms of win probability. So this move from 6.5 to 5.5 is like a 3 to 3.5% percentage points move, and I think this is probably in the right range for a player like Travis Kelce. So if that spread would have been 3.5, it would have moved down to 3, not to 2.5. So the jump from 6.5 to 5 is, in terms of percentage points, in terms of win probability percentage points, it's like the same move as we were going from 3.5 to 3, kind of that same area. So that's very important to note. Yes, I think 3%, 3.5% win probability change for Travis Kelce being in is probably in the correct range. We also have some confounding factors because Chris Jones will likely not play in this game, like their most important player on defense. He's also worth something to the spread. So we're dealing with some confounding factors there, because it's not only Travis Kelce. And yeah, I mean, I would maybe expect once he's fully ruled out, which is 85 to 90% at this case, I think there would be a miracle, only a mild hyperextension, maybe some, I don't know, mild MCL sprain, maybe he might suit up. But I think the odds are against him. So if he's officially ruled out, we might see a little bit more ticking towards the lines. But I think in the end, without Chris Jones, without Travis Kelce, this will likely close in the 4.5, 5-ish range on Thursday.